This is just a quick overview of how to solve things in the form y equals mx plus b. We're going to look at it really carefully a little bit later, but this is just a quick overview of something you've already seen. So let's look at the first problem. In this problem, I have 5x plus y equals 9. And I need to get the y by itself. So on these problems, I like to highlight my y, and I'm going to peel it like an onion. Y wants to be by itself, and you're going to notice that on this side of the equation, the 5x is with it, and it doesn't want to be that way. It wants to be by itself. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of the 5x. Now you're going to notice in front of the 5x there is no sign, which means that it's a positive 5x. So to get rid of it, I'm going to subtract it from each side. And when I do that, I have the y by itself equals, okay? And you're going to notice that the 9 and the 5x, they are not like terms. So the negative 5x is going to come out front. And then the 9 has a positive in front of it, or no sign, so it's positive. And I get plus 9. Again, it needs to be in the form y equals, I've got my x and I have my number. And so the negative 5x must come in front. And now that is the final answer. Let's come down to the next problem. I'm going to highlight the y again. You're going to notice that the 2x in front of that is positive. So again, I'm going to subtract my 2x. And out front of it, we have a y, but it's a negative y. So I'm going to bring this negative down, okay? And that's equals. And then I have negative 2x plus 4. There's a negative in front of the 2x, and then there's nothing in front of the 4, so it's positive. Now, you're going to notice that the y is still not by itself. It's got the negative in front of it. And technically in front of it, when there is no number, there is a 1 in front. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to divide both sides, and you're going to notice that I did a longer line on the right-hand side. I'm going to divide by negative 1. And when I do that, I end up with y, because these two ones cancel, equals. Now I'm going to look at negative 2 divided by negative 1 is a positive 2x. And then I'm going to take positive 4 divided by the negative 1, and I end up with negative 4. So that negative 1 is under the negative 2, and it's under the 4, so it affects both of the numbers. Let's continue on to number 3. Again, I want the y by itself, so I am going to subtract 7x. I'm going to bring down the 4y. You'll notice that it's positive. So it's positive 4y equals, I get negative 7x, and then there's nothing in front of the 8, so I'm going to leave it positive. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by the number in front of the y, which is 4. So when I do that, my 4's cancel, so I get y equals. And I'm going to go ahead and write negative 7x over 4 plus 8 over 4. Now, you're going to notice that the negative 7 is bigger than the 4. However, 4 does not go into negative 7 nice and even. You end up with a mixed number. So what I'm going to do on this, I'm going to leave this as y equals negative 7 over 4x. I'm going to leave that as a mixed number, and you're going to find out why later, but right now I'm just going to leave it. And if I take a look at the next number, 8 divided by 4, that comes out really nice. In fact, 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to divide that, and this ends up being my answer. Do not, again, do not make this into negative 1 3/4. Do not. Leave it as a number over another number, and we're going to talk about that later. And then the final example, this one here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight my y. I'm going to subtract 8x. And I end up with negative 5y, because I've got that negative in front there, equals negative 8x plus 21. Again, I put the negative 8x in front of the 21. 21 is positive because there's nothing in front of the 21. Y is still not by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by the negative 5. My negative 5's cancel, so I get y equals, I'm going to leave this as negative 8 over negative 5x plus 21 over negative 5. And now I'm going to see what I can do here. You're going to notice that a negative divided by a negative is a positive. This is a positive. So I'm going to end up with y equals, I'm going to leave this as 8/5 x. And then what I'm going to do is a positive divided by a negative is a negative. So I could go plus minus like this. Negative 5 goes into, I should say 5 goes into 21 4 times with 1 left over 5. Or I could also write this as y equals 8 over 5x minus 4 1/5. Notice that this number right here, I can make it into a mixed number, but the number right here, I do not. I leave that as a number over a number. Let me do one more example with you. Let's say that I have 2y, let's go negative 2, no, sorry. Let's go negative 2x minus 2y equals negative 6. Okay, I want to get the y by itself, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my 2x to both sides. I end up with negative 2y equals 2x minus 6. Notice that it's a positive 2x and a negative 6. And this comes down, that negative comes down. Again, this is my y that I'm going to highlight. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2 because that's what's in front of the y. And when I do that, these cancel. I get y equals, and I can go ahead and I write 2 over negative 2x and then minus 6 over negative 2. And now I'm going to reduce. Now you're going to notice on this one, 2 divided by negative 2 comes out nice and clean. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reduce that and make that negative 1x. And then it depends on how you want to look at the second fraction. You could write negative because of this out front, and then 6 divided by negative 2 is a negative 3. You could chop it. You could also write it as y equals negative 1x plus 3, or even better yet, y equals negative x plus 3. So either one of these is fine. If it's a chop like the one up above right here, you want to make sure that you write just one addition. So this is how you turn things into a y equals mx plus b. If you have questions, let me know.